Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got absolutely rinsed yesterday, and it happens. We entered last week up 34% entering our most recent show. We got rinsed. We lost 9%. We're still up 25% in the last 2 weeks. Brutal day, but by no means something to panic about, ladies and gentlemen. This happens. You know the system. If you've been rolling with us since February, you know how it goes. Ups, downs, peaks, valleys. That's what it's all about. But for everybody that's new, this is the Dirty 630 Show. We are DocSports.com. I am Griffin Murphy. Alongside me to my left or my right is Nick Menken. Boys are back in action. Time to bounce back from yesterday. Let's rinse some profits back into our accounts after a brutal day yesterday. We did go down 9%, but after over the overall spectrum in the last 2 weeks, 25% in profit in the bag. And just so you guys know, this show is recorded Monday through Friday. We get it up by 1 p.m. Eastern time. And before we get any further, Nick, how are the premium selections going over at DocSports.com? And what do you got on slate today?
Yeah, just want to tell everybody I'm a little pissed off on yesterday's whale bet there with the Tampa Bay Lightning. They were up 2-1 there with, I believe it was 2 minutes left in that third period, and then the Florida Panthers tie it up, and then they take the lead 3-2. Just a bad beat there yesterday. I'm still a little pissed off about it, but we're still heating up on that NBA hardwood, ladies and gentlemen. Got the job done last night with the Cavaliers. Easy winner there. They advance to the next round. In my last 16 selections, we are 13-3 for up over $3,500. Tonight, I will have a 7-unit best bet going off tonight on the NBA hardwood floor. That is a 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard or 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard start there in the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks game. So make sure to tap that one. We're on the hardwood. We got 2 plays on the diamond and 1 play in the NHL tonight. Griff, what do you got going on at the website?
Yeah, Nick, I'm going to play a little bit more low volume today. Yesterday, I dropped my 5-unit best bet. I had the Tigers again yesterday, and they're up 2-0 the whole game. Dude, I don't even know what the hell happened. They were up 3-0. Then I look, it's 5-3. It was just an absolute cluster of a game. Whatever. We're going to put that one away. We lost yesterday's baseball card. We did cash in. I was on that Cleveland play as well. Absolutely murdered them. I mean, I looked at the halftime box score. They were up like 74-33 at half. Absolutely torched them. So we locked up our 4-unit in the NBA side of things. We did drop our NHL, but we smacked our prop. We're back on the ring. We're back on the card when it comes to MLB. I've got a 4-unit selection, NBA 4-unit selection, NHL 4-unit selection, daily prop 4-unit selection, and soccer 4-unit selection. So we're covered across all sports. We're playing just one selection per sport. We whipped out the sniper today. We got the bow and arrow out for our premium cards, and we drilled each one of our shots. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're stacked across all sports. And for you new members, if you guys are a new member to Doc Sports, head on over to DocSports.com/free60. There you can go grab yourself a free $60 account. You could use that free $60 on Nick's premium selections or on my premium selections for absolutely free. If you guys are into NBA, well, Nick's on a 12-3 burner right now, as he mentioned, up over $3,000. Go jump on his premium selection today for absolutely free. And if you guys don't like Nick and you like me better, well, I've got slate or action across all cards right now or all sports. And if you don't like either of us two, we've got 10, 11 other handicappers over at the website. You can jump on their plays for free using that DocSports.com/free60. But with that being said, Nick, we already talked before the show. You got some new sauce coming out.
We got new sauce. We got to change up from that habanero. Staying away from that habanero right now. We're going to that Asian zing sauce. You know what it is. We got four parlays in this system. We have two teamers. We have 1 3-teamer and 1 Hail Mary 4-team parlay. Griffin and I will go off increments of $100. Stick to that risk. We've been having profitable days over these last 2 weeks here. We fell back yesterday, but we will bounce back this week. Stick to your risk. And Griff, talk to me about that whale bet.
Whale bet, that is our bread and butter, our backbone. So as Nick mentioned in this show, we give out 4 parlays. Each one of those parlays, you risk 1%. So if your 1% means $5, you stick to that $5 across the board. All 4 of those parlays, you are risking 1%. That is $5. And then our whale shot, that is an individual selection. That is risking 5%. So to say, we give out 4 parlays, and all 4 of those parlays lose, and we give out a 5% individual shot, and that play hits, well, we are automatically in profit 5% or 1% on the day with that single individual loan shot with itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll touch up on volume again as we go throughout the show, but stick to the numbers, stick to the script. You guys know the system. 1% means 1%. 5% means 5%. Do not change a damn thing. With that being said, Nick, what time is it, baby?
Let's parlay time.
It is parlay time, baby. Let's rock. Let's roll. We're on the diamond. We got the Boston Red Sox minus 145 on the money line, rolling into Toronto to play the Blue Jays. Total sitting at 7.5. Garrett Crochet gets the start for Boston. Crochet, he's stout. He's 2-2 on the year. He's got 37 innings of work, 44 strikeouts, and just 15 walks. I've been saying it all year long. Toronto, they're swinging the bat and they're getting guys on, but they are not capitalizing on runs. Crochet, he is not a guy to give up the long ball, and his stuff is as tough as anybody's in baseball right now when it comes to pitching on that rubber. Give me the Red Sox here on the money line, fair value minus 145 for game number 1. Nick, hit him game 2.
Game 2, staying on the diamond, we got the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. They're the Yankees slight favorites, minus 145 here on the money line. That total sitting at 9.5. The New York Yankees, they let us down yesterday as they lost their 4-3 against these Orioles. They had 10 hits, but left too many runners on base. Carlos Rodon will be getting the start here. He is 3-3 on the season with an ERA sitting at a 3.5 here for the Orioles. Kyle Gibson will make his first start here for the Orioles. If you remember, he came over from the St. Louis Cardinals, and 3 years prior to that, the Cardinals move. He was with this Baltimore Orioles team. He's very familiar pitching in this ballpark, but it is his first start of the season. Let's not get overlooked here on these Yankees lineup here that absolutely crushes right-handed pitching. I love these New York Yankees here. Money line over the Baltimore Orioles. Think they bounce back. So for our first 2-team parlay, we were taking the Boston Red Sox money line, and we were taking the New York Yankees money line at odds of plus 190. Let's head on over to our second 2-team parlay. Headed on the ice, we got the Minnesota Wild here and the Vegas Golden Knights. The Knights minus 240 here on the money line. The total sitting at 5.5. Vegas got the overtime winner in game 4, pushing that series to 2-2 in this series. We got game 5 here tonight in Vegas, but let's not forget about something. The Minnesota Wild, they played their best hockey on the road in the regular season. This Minnesota team has looked a lot better than this Vegas Golden Knights team other than that first game in Vegas. I think this is a close-knit match game here. I think it goes into overtime necessarily. I like this Minnesota Wild team. It's got the value. They're the more value team. I'm not laying minus 240 with this Golden Knights team when Minnesota has shown me that they could play and keep up with this Knights team at home. Give me the Minnesota Wild plus 1.5 over the Vegas Golden Knights. Griff, hit him with game 2.
Game 2, staying on the diamond. We got the Washington Nationals rolling into Philly to play the Phillies. Phillies minus 190 on the money line. Total sitting at 8.5. Zach Wheeler gets the start for Philly. Wheeler, absolute gunslinger. This guy's got 37.1 innings of work. He's got a 2-1 record, 50 strikeouts and just 8 walks, and a stout 3.62 ERA. Wheeler's strikeout to walk diversification is absolutely sensational. Washington, they're just 17th in batting average, 21st when it comes to on-base percentage. Wheeler, he does not walk a lot of hitters, and Philly edges both offensively and on the rubber tonight. Give me the Phillies here on the run line, odds plus 110. So for our 2-team parlay, we will be taking the Minnesota Wild plus 1.5. We'll be taking the Philadelphia Phillies on the run line, odds of plus 275. And now, before we get into our 3-legger, have to touch up on this because yesterday was a prime example of it. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we were up 35% in profit. Today we were up 34%. Today we were up 25%. We got rinsed 9% yesterday. We lost all of our parlays, including our single individual bow and arrow shot at 5%. So what does that tell you? We got rinsed 9%, but if you were running the numbers strategically, all you lost was 9% yesterday. Nothing more. If your 1% means $5 and it was $5 in February, it's $5 today, April 29th, 2025. You do not change a thing. If your 5% bow and arrow shot was $25, it is $25 today on April 29th, 2025. You do not change a damn thing. You stick to the system, stick to the script, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. When we're up, we rip them and we get out and rinse them. When we're down, we stabilize. We use our risk management to get back in profit before we rip those bastards again.
Come on.
But with that being said, let's get back into the parlay action. 3-team parlay. Game number 1. We're on the diamond. Minnesota Twins rolling into Cleveland to play the Guardians. Guardians minus 145 on the money line. Total sitting at 8.5. With Paddock and Beebe on the bump tonight, this total seems a bit high at 8.5. This gives us an incentive. Minnesota, they're averaging 4 runs per game. Cleveland, they're averaging 3.9 runs a game. We have two pitchers that are off to absolutely brutal starts this season. This is also a divisional matchup. I expect this game to remain tight all game long, and we're going to go under that total at 8.5. I think Paddock needs to get himself ready to go. This is a perfect matchup to do so, divisional matchup. BB, on the other hand, he's a consistent pitcher who has been consistent years in, years out. Right now, he just got to get his shit together. I believe today's the day to do it. Divisional matchup. Give me the under 8.5 runs scored between the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians. Nick, hit him game 2.
Game 2, going to the hardwood. We got the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics here. The Celtics minus 11.5. The total, though, sitting at 198.5. We have game 5 here between the Magic and the Celtics. The Celtics, besides the first game of this series, each game has been competitive. The Magic have been sticking with these Boston Celtics here. If the Magic want to keep their season alive here, they are going to have to score points. They know this. They cannot come in to the Garden where the Boston Celtics play and expect to score less than 100 points and still win this game or keep it competitive here. Give me the over. I think this over is way too low here. I think the Orlando Magic score at least 100, but not saying they're going to win. I think they cover this over here. The Celtics will do what they've been doing all season long. Give me the over 198.5 points in the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics. So for a third game here in our 3-teamer, we are headed back to the Diamond. We got the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds here minus 145 on the money line. The total sitting at 9.5. The Reds won yesterday by a score of 3-1. Brady Singer will be back on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds. He has a record of 4-0 this season. Miles Mikolas will get the start for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's 0-2 with an ERA almost at a 6. He's at a 5.7. I like this bats for the Cincinnati Reds to continue to stay hot here against a struggling team on the road in the St. Louis Cardinals, who are 2-12 this season on the road. Give me the Cincinnati Reds here on the money line over the St. Louis Cardinals. So for our 3-team parlay, we are taking the under 8.5 in the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians. We are taking the over 198.5 total points in the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics. And we are taking the Cincinnati Reds money line at odds of plus 500, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's get up for this Hail Mary. Let's hit it one time.
We got to get this.
We're headed back to the Diamond. We got the Detroit Tigers and the Houston Astros. Astros slight favorite minus 120 here on the money line. The total sitting at 7.5. The Tigers, like Griff said, lost yesterday after taking a 2-0 lead in that game. Lost that one 8-5. Reese Olson will be back on the mound here tonight against the Astros. He is 3-1. This season, while Ryan Gusto will make the start here for the Houston Astros. He is 3-1 on this season. Two good starting pitchers, but Gusto, whatever the hell you want to call it. He's a right-handed pitcher, and this Detroit Tigers hit right-handed pitchers. I'm expecting them to continue their offensive run production. I know the Astros are 7-3 in their last 10 games, but I like this dog price with the Detroit Tigers. Give me the Tigers over the Houston Astros for game number 1. Griff, hit him with game 2.
Back to those friggin' Jagoffs. Let's go. Game 2. We're on the Diamond, baby. We got the Chicago Cubs minus 135 on the money line, rolling into Pittsburgh to play the Pirates. Total sitting at 8.5. This line automatically draws your attention. Chicago minus 135 on the money line. That tells us there's a huge trap in play, especially with Imanaga on the bump tonight for the Cubs. Pittsburgh, they're averaging just 3.5 runs a game offensively. The Cubs, they're averaging nearly 6, which is first in baseball. If the market has this game lined up as nearly a pick-em matchup with Chicago's ace on the bump, we have to expect a tight game here. Give me the under 8.5 runs here, as I think we see a tight competitive ball game as well as a huge trap incentive intake. Give me that under 8.5 runs between the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Nick, hit them game 3.
Game 3, headed to the ice. We got the Edmonton Oilers and the Los Angeles Kings here. The Kings slight favorite minus 130 on the money line. That total is sitting at 6.5. The Kings, they have now lost 2 straight here. They took a 2-0 lead in this series. Now the series is tied, but Los Angeles Kings are at home. They play their best hockey here at home. Until somebody could show me they could go into Los Angeles and play a lot better than these Kings, I am taking that hot team at home. Give me the Los Angeles Kings over the Edmonton Oilers here for game 5. Griff, hit him with game number 4.
Game number 4, we're on the Diamond, sticking to it. We got the San Francisco Giants minus 125 on the money line, rolling into San Diego to play the Padres. Total sitting at 6.5. San Francisco, they come into this game second in the NL West with a record of 19-10. Tonight, they're backed up by the race, Logan Webb. Webb, he's 3-1 on the year. He's got 36.1 innings of work, 44 strikeouts, just 10 walks, and a dominant 1.98 ERA. Nick Pivetta gets the start for San Diego. He's been sensational all year long. But I'm looking for the long-term pitcher here and the more potent offense. San Francisco, they're 9th in baseball when it comes to runs scored per game. I believe they take this one with Webb backed up on the bump. Give me the Giants here, money line minus 125. So for our 4-team parlay, we're taking the Tigers on the money lines, Jagoffs. We're taking the LA Kings on the money line. We're taking the San Francisco Giants on the money line. We're taking the under 8.5 runs scored between the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Odds of plus 1,100. 555, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, before we get the bow and the arrow out, the feedbacks, the comments, all of that good stuff. I will be traveling today. I'm going to Nashville today. I will be back by the end of the night. If not, we will be back for the Dirty 630 show tomorrow. But everybody, we will do our best. I'll be on the plane, so I'll be doing everything as much as I can, commenting. I'll have internet. I will comment and get back to everybody. The feedback, the comments, all of that good stuff. We appreciate it continuously. Please continue to do so. All of these comments only drive us to continue to do this show longer, and put way more effort into it. So please, guys, all of the good comments, the bad comments, all of that stuff, continue to do so. And if you guys like this video, please smash that thumbs up button. And just so you guys know, another reminder, this show is recorded Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock Eastern time. We try to get this show up. So turn on those notifications, because every time we get this show up, you'll be notified. But with that being said, Nick, get the bow out, get the arrow. It's time to get juicy in this bastard. 5% whale shot, bow and arrow. We're on the ice. We got the Ottawa Senators rolling into Toronto to play the Leafs. Leafs minus 165 on the money line. Total sitting at 5.5. Toronto, they have dominated the entire series. They've proved to be the premium team here. Toronto leads the series 3-1. They lost their most recent matchup in Ottawa in an OT loser. Toronto went a stellar 27-13-1 at home this season. Ottawa didn't even break 500 hockey on the road with a record of 18-19-4. It's been a hell of a season for Ottawa, but pack your bags, boys. Get the bow out, get the arrow out. We're taking the Leafs on the money line, minus 165, baby. Boom!
Boom, baby. We are going to see a tough playoff atmosphere here in Canada versus two Canadians team. Now the Maple Leafs in the playoffs. They've had a tough time finishing the series. This is a different team. I think they get over the hump tonight. They're back at home in Toronto against the team from Canada and the Ottawa Senators. Give me the Toronto Maple Leafs money line over the Ottawa Senators for a 5% whale bet, baby.
Boom! Let's roll. Recap time. All right, parlay number 1. Take the Red Sox on the money line. Take the Yankees on the money line. Odds of plus 190. Parlay number 2. Take the Minnesota Wild plus 1.5. Take the Philadelphia Phillies on the run line. Odds of plus 275. 3-team parlay. Take under 8.5 runs between the Minnesota Twins and the Cleveland Guardians. Take over 198.5 points between the Orlando Magic and the Boston Celtics. Take the Reds on the money line. Odds of plus 500. And our 4-team parlay. Take the Detroit Tigers on the money line. Take the LA Kings on the money line. Take the San Francisco Giants on the money line. Take under 8.5 runs between the Chicago Cubs and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Odds of 1,155. And then our 5% bow, our arrow shot. Get it out, Nick. Sharpen that bastard. We're taking the Maple Leafs on the money line over the Senators. Odds of minus 165, baby. Boom! Let's go. And as always, we appreciate everybody continuously tuning into the 3630 show. We are DocSports.com. I'm Griffin Murphy. Alongside me to my left or right is Nick Menken. The boys will be back in action tomorrow by 1 p.m. Eastern time. We continuously appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, today is Tuesday, April 29th. Boys will be back in action Wednesday, April 30th. But as always, we appreciate the feedback, the comments, all of that good stuff. Please continue to do so. We appreciate you guys tuning into the Dirty 630 show, and we will see you guys once again back in action tomorrow.
Come on.